Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Superman 64 in the first story, Professor Lois Lane, which really should be Professor Lois Lane and Professor Clark Kent because they're both professors in the story, but let's not take away things from Lois Lane. Not during the 50s. Now, you think from the cover part of the story, this is going to be a story about Lois being jealous because, well, that seems to be her default emotion in the 1950s because, well, sexism and the 1950s, which is just a sexist decade to begin with, and racist, but we're not dealing with that in this issue. I mean, there's nothing but white people in this issue, so maybe we should be dealing with racism in this issue. The story might have too many things going on. Let me try to explain this very quickly. Lois and Clark are sent to be professors at a journalism school. Perry gets it in his head to hold a competition. Whoever's pupil does better gets a job at the Daily Planet because Perry can only live if he's creating contests anymore. That's all he has to live for. Maybe he wouldn't have so many circulation problems if they didn't decide things based on competitions all the time. Lois picks this one male student. Clark picks a female student who is Lois is looking jealous of in the cover, but that's not what this is about. Lois's star pupil gets a lot of scoops involving the football team. It's all based on the football team. Essentially, their star player goes missing. He lies about getting stuck up because he does really bad in the game. The simplest explanation is that he's afraid of flying, and when Superman goes and saves him and flies him back to the game, he's so terrified he screws up. Now, keep that part in mind. Now, no one quite understands how he's getting all these scoops. Well, it turns out that these two pupils are in fact a couple, and she flies an airplane, is way more daring than Lois has possibly been. She actually saves him at one point using her airplane, and she's helping him get scoops. Now, neither one ends up winning the contest. Well, they actually both win the contest because the Daily Planet sure needs a good married team, which there's something here to explore because Lois and Clark are a team, but they're not a married team, even though they're in love, or at least she's in love with a different facet of him. But they never decide to explore that. And this is the 1950s. This is the era of romance comics. You think Lois or maybe Clark thinking about how nice that might be to work with each other, seeing how well it seems to be working for these two. No, we got to leave that as a mystery. Oh, and notice that I keep forgetting about that football player because it's not a huge integral part of the story. Superman's solution, of course, is awful. He throws him in the air as he's flying him, so he gets over his fear of flight and heights. And he didn't go into, shock. I'm not sure Superman's going to make a great therapist at this moment. But we kind of just skip over all the, character development parts of this football player, and he just plays well in the game. And as I said, those two are hired as a married couple, which seems sweet, but once again, we don't say anything about it. It's contrived for a mystery, which was not even the most interesting part of this story. Remember, we're supposed to be having a contest, which has a pretty unsatisfactory ending if both of them get the job. I know it's the golden age, but come on, we can have a little bit of character work in these stories. It worked in 50 Ways to Kill Superman. Wouldn't I give for another 50 Ways to Kill Superman? Settle for another Mixopiddleic story. Okay, that is it from Superman 64 in the first story, Professor Lois Lane. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And why did they stop teaching? Where is this journalism school? Does it still exist? It probably doesn't still exist. Crisis on Infinite Earths and everything. Do not point out to me that death metal restored all continuity. Okay, have a great day.